Okay, the next question is also on Glass-Steagall. It's from a member of the professional staff of House Ways and Means, and she says, Lynn, I know you're aware of the fact that there are now 2 Glass-Steagall bills before the House, and that soon there will be a Glass-Steagall bill before the Senate. Momentum continues to build, and those bills are, we believe, likely to pass before the end of August. However, in reviewing the bills for my boss, one of the things that has come up is that both bills seek to restore Glass-Steagall, but they don't really, they have no mechanism for implementation. And my question to you is, should we be doing something? Do we need to worry about this? Should we be writing additional legislation? Or is it sufficient to just say, reinstitute Glass-Steagall? Because certainly the first time that Glass-Steagall was passed, you had a president who was friendly to it and took the appropriate action.
It's very simple. There's no problem. Get Glass-Steagall rammed through. Both versions. And in the process, kick the president out of the office. If you don't do that, you're wasting your time. You've got to get Glass-Steagall through. You cannot have a United States continue to exist without Glass-Steagall. So don't talk about alternatives to Glass-Steagall. Glass-Steagall, in its original form, is copied more or less accurately by the two sets of candidates for the bill. Ram it through. Throw the bum out. When you ram this thing through, what do you get? You get that Wall Street goes bankrupt right away. Because all the dirty money that's worthless is given to Wall Street to pay. All the worthless debts are given to Wall Street to pay. And the problem is going to be the following. The problem is, if we clean out all the garbage which belongs to Wall Street, there's very little money left in the banking system. So what's your solution? It's elementary, buddy. Hey, Sherlock Holmes, you've missed the point. The point is we don't have enough money after we enact Glass-Steagall to cover the debts, to maintain the banking system, the legitimate banking system. So what do we have to do? We have to create a mass of U.S. federal credit, which then is applied to a credit system to make sure that we're running large projects, and smaller projects as well, on this federal and state level. We are putting the unemployed back to work in jobs. We take, as Alexander Hamilton prescribed, we take these jobs that the people have fit for them, and we give them the work. These projects then become the basis for the assets which are being created to pay the debts which we're covering with federal credit in the various parts of the nation. So suddenly we create, as Alexander Hamilton's reform, which is called the U.S. Federal Constitution, we use that thing because Glass-Steagall is nothing but that, exactly that. We use that form immediately to get large projects going, especially because the smaller projects will come free. In other words, if you take a number, like take NWAPA, for example. If we decide to launch NWAPA immediately, we know what the costs are in fair trade, in fair terms. We know what the benefits are. We know, for example, in addition to NWAPA, we've got to carry the thing further because we've got to have a link, as we need now in the Missouri, Mississippi and Ohio rivers. We have a flooding condition there, which means no food supply from that area this coming year. So we do need this project. So we need these projects, and what we do is we extend the WAPA. We go back to the Tennessee Valley Authority organization, rebuild that, extend it through other systems. Now we have a system, whereas now we had a flooding in that river system earlier this year. We now have a drought in the complementary area. The volume of water involved in this, if you had a connecting system, you would be able to absorb the excess water from the north into the area of the south, and you would have thus supply the water to the area in the south. With the NWAPA system, as this done as a NWAPA system, we would have the means to do that. And then we would have a balanced water supply system inside the United States territory. And we would have a project which is one of the greatest drivers the world has ever seen in terms of large-scale development of territory. So you have to think in these terms. You have to think of production. You have to think of putting people to work. You've got to think about increasing the productive powers of labor. You've got to increase the skill levels of people in labor. You've got to rebuild the nation the way it was built by the United States under the Constitution. Same way. Same thing done by Lincoln and after Lincoln. The Transcontinental Railway, all the great projects that we did, which were imitated by Europe. Like all the great railway systems were done by Europe on the basis of U.S. inspiration. So we have vast projects, including emergency projects, which are needed immediately. We still have people who have skills, high-level skills in production. We need to put them to work while they're still alive. We need to create cadres around the people who have these skills but who are getting old. And by doing that, we are creating an engine of progress for the people and the nation of the United States. And there's the money. There's the credit. It's sitting up there. And what's happening? The value is being produced that backs up that credit. We have recreated the United States, which is what the British are terrified of. And we sit there laughing while the British cry.